Number 8. The roller coaster in your skull. You know that feeling when you're on a roller coaster, clicking slowly up that first massive hill. Your knuckles are white, your stomach is trying to climb out of your throat, and your brain is screaming a high-pitched aria of pure, unadulterated regret. And then you drop. And for a few seconds, it's terrifying. Then it's exhilarating. You get off, your legs are jelly, your hair looks like you've been electrocuted, and you immediately say, "Let's do it again." Congratulations, you've just experienced the core appeal of a horror movie, but without the sticky floors and overpriced popcorn. Your body doesn't really distinguish between fun scared and real scared on a chemical level. When you see a knife-wielding maniac with a questionable taste in masks pop out of a closet, your amygdala, your brain's tiny panicky alarm system, hits the big red button. This floods your system with adrenaline and cortisol. Your heart rate skyrockets, your breathing gets shallow, your muscles tense up. It's the classic fight-or-flight response, the same one your ancestors used to outrun a saber-toothed tiger. The only difference is, the tiger is a 19-year-old actor on a soundstage in Vancouver, and you're safely buried under a pile of blankets. It's a biological hack. You get all the thrilling, high-octane neurochemicals of a near-death experience, but with zero actual risk of death. It's the physiological equivalent of being a stuntman with the universe's best insurance policy. Basically, you're an adrenaline junkie who has found a loophole that doesn't require a helmet or a waiver. Number 7. Morbid Curiosity. There's a reason we slow down to look at car crashes. It's not because we're all secretly ghouls who wish ill upon others. Well, not just because of that. It's because of a powerful, deeply ingrained instinct called morbid curiosity. Our brains are information-gathering machines, and that includes information about the dark, the dangerous, and the disgusting. We are fundamentally wired to want to understand threats, even if that means staring directly into the abyss until it gets a little awkward for both of you. A horror movie is a socially acceptable way to indulge this. It's a guided tour of the macabre. You get to see what happens when societal rules completely break down. What does a zombie apocalypse actually look like? How would someone react to being haunted by a ghost with terrible interior design taste? These are questions you hope you'll never have to answer in real life. But the what if is tantalizing. Horror lets you peek behind the curtain of mortality and chaos without having to pay the price of admission, which, in reality, is usually your life. You get to learn the rules of a terrifying scenario, gathering data on survival strategies and the absolute worst-case outcomes. You're not just watching a movie. You're a scientist in a lab coat, observing humanity's ugliest experiments from the safety of a blast shield made of pillows. So next time you feel a bit guilty for enjoying a particularly gruesome scene, don't. You're not a monster. You're just a studious primate taking notes on how to not get eaten. Number 6. The Apocalypse Rehearsal. Imagine for a second that your subconscious is a deeply paranoid survivalist who's been prepping for the end of the world since you were born. It's got a bunker stocked with canned beans and an encyclopedic knowledge of all the ways you could possibly perish. Now, what's the best way for this inner prepper to train you, the squishy, distractible person in charge? By running simulations, of course. And that's exactly what a horror movie is. A full-dress rehearsal for a disaster you'll hopefully never attend. This is a concept from evolutionary psychology, which suggests that our love for scary stories is a kind of ancient, built-in training program. By watching protagonists navigate terrifying situations, we are, on a very deep level, practicing. We're mentally working through problems. Where would you hide? What would you use as a weapon? Would you be the one who suggests splitting up, like a complete moron? It's a low-stakes cognitive playground for high-stakes scenarios. Your brain gets to sharpen its problem-solving skills and threat assessment abilities without any actual threat. It learns to anticipate dangers and formulate escape plans. When you watch someone on screen make a fatal mistake, your brain files that away under things to absolutely not do when pursued by a demonic farmer. You're essentially putting your survival instincts through a workout. It's like a fire drill for your soul, except the fire is a horde of flesh-eating ghouls, and the drill involves a lot more screaming. Number 5. The Snuggle Effect. Let's talk about the classic horror movie date. The lights go down, the creepy music starts, something jumps out of the darkness, and suddenly two people who were sitting a polite foot apart are now practically fused together. This isn't just a cheesy trope. It's a scientifically recognized phenomenon. It even has a name, the Snuggle Effect, or if you want to sound smarter, misattribution of arousal. The idea is simple and a little bit devious. The intense physiological arousal you feel from fear, the racing heart, the quickened breath, is neurologically very similar to the feelings of romantic or sexual attraction. Your brain, bless its simple, easily confused heart, can get the signals mixed up. When you're sitting next to someone you find attractive, and you both jump out of your skin as a ghost girl crawls out of a TV, your brain goes, "Whoa, my heart is pounding. My palms are sweaty. This must be because of this incredibly charming person next to me, and not at all because of the vengeful spirit committing spectral homicide on screen." The fear enhances the attraction. The shared vulnerability creates a powerful primal sense of bonding. You survived a terrifying ordeal together, an ordeal you paid $12 for, and that creates an instant connection. It's an emotional shortcut to intimacy, powered by jump scares and questionable plot decisions. So yes, that whole "let's watch a scary movie" move is basically a form of psychological manipulation. But hey, it works. Number 4. A vacation for your anxiety. Life in the 21st century is a buffet of low-grade, chronic anxieties. You've got work deadlines, student loans, social media pressure, that weird noise your car is making, and the existential dread that comes from knowing there are over 800 shows you're supposed to be watching. It's a constant humming background noise of stress. A horror movie, in its own weird way, offers a vacation from all that. It takes all your vague, formless anxieties and replaces them with one big concrete and, most importantly, fake threat. For 90 minutes, you don't have to worry about paying your rent. You have to worry about a vampire tearing your throat out. You don't have to stress about that awkward email you sent to your boss. You have to stress about whether the main character will check the back seat of her car before driving away. This process is called catharsis. By experiencing fear in a controlled environment, you get to release your own pent-up emotional baggage. The on-screen terror acts as a stand-in for your real-world fears. The screaming, the tension, the suspense. It all serves to purge your system. When the credits roll and the lights come up, the monster is gone. The threat is neutralized, and that wave of relief is immense. Suddenly, your real-world problems seem a little smaller, a little more manageable in comparison. After all, what's a looming deadline when you've just mentally survived a night in a haunted hotel run by a homicidal ghost? It's perspective, just delivered by a clown in a sewer. Number 3. Victory through a survivor. As much as we talk about the monsters, a huge part of the horror experience is about the hero, specifically the final girl or the sole survivor. We don't just watch these movies to see people get hacked to pieces. We watch them to see someone survive getting hacked to pieces. This taps into a deep psychological need for mastery and control. The world is a chaotic, unpredictable place, and horror movies distill that chaos into a narrative we can process. And at the end of that narrative, someone usually wins. When you watch a character like Ellen Ripley or Laurie Strode outsmart the monster, fight back, and endure unimaginable terror, you experience a vicarious sense of triumph. You identify with them. Their resilience becomes your resilience. Their victory is your victory. It's empowering to watch an ordinary person, often someone underestimated, rise to an extraordinary challenge and overcome it. It reinforces the idea that even in the face of overwhelming evil or unstoppable force, survival is possible. It's a story about human endurance. This journey from victim to victor provides a profound sense of satisfaction and justice. The monster, which represents a kind of ultimate chaotic evil, is defeated by human ingenuity and willpower. Basically, you're not there for the body count. You're there for the final, bloody, triumphant victory lap of the one who made it out alive. It's a reminder that we can, in fact, beat the monster under the bed. Number 2. The joy of being wrong. Picture this. You're walking through a haunted house attraction. Every corner you turn, you're expecting something to jump out. Your body is coiled like a spring. Then, a clown with a chainsaw leaps out from behind a curtain. You scream. You might even fall over. A second later, you realize it's a guy in a rubber mask, and the chainsaw has no chain. And you laugh. That feeling, that switch from mortal terror to relieved laughter, is a psychological phenomenon called benign masochism. It's the enjoyment of a negative experience precisely because you know, on a fundamental level, that it's not actually harmful. Your body thinks the threat is real, but your brain knows it's fake. And the pleasure comes from the collision of those two things. You get to enjoy the fun parts of fear, the rush, the intensity, while your higher-level brain sits back, smugly aware that you're perfectly safe. Horror movies are the ultimate exercise in this. Every jump scare is a little test. Your body screams, "Danger," and your brain calmly replies, "Nope, just actors and corn syrup." The relief that follows is intensely pleasurable. It's the joy of being wrong about your own impending doom. You thought you were going to die, but you didn't. That's a pretty great feeling. It's like tricking your own nervous system and then laughing at it for being so gullible. You're essentially playing a prank on your own primal instincts, and the punchline is your continued existence. Number 1. The brain's great mistake. All right, this is the big one. The master key that unlocks the whole twisted puzzle. It's a psychological principle called excitation transfer theory. And it's the reason the end of a horror movie feels so damn good. It all comes down to a simple, hilarious flaw in your brain's emotional wiring. It's terrible at multitasking. When you watch a horror movie, your body is flooded with arousal from fear. Your heart is pounding. You're breathing heavily. You're on high alert. This physiological state doesn't just vanish the second the monster is defeated. It lingers. It hangs around in your system like a guest who doesn't know when to leave the party. Now, here comes the trick. As the movie ends and you see the hero safe, or the sun rising, or the credits rolling over a shot of the smoldering remains of the haunted cabin, you feel a massive wave of relief and euphoria. According to excitation transfer theory, your brain takes all that leftover physical arousal from the fear and transfers it onto this new, positive emotion. It misattributes the intensity. The pounding heart you had because of the zombie horde is now interpreted as intense joy from the hero's survival. The fear magnifies the relief, making the final positive feeling way more powerful than it would have been on its own. It's an emotional amplifier. The terror you felt just moments before becomes the fuel for the elation you feel now. Your brain basically gets tricked. It mistakes the afterglow of terror for a state of pure, unadulterated bliss. You didn't just enjoy the movie, despite being scared. You enjoyed it because you were scared. It's the most beautifully disturbing con job your own mind has ever pulled on you. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.